am very happy for Raquel Pennington. It's very cool. I don't know. There's something that tugs at my heartstrings about seeing women from what I'll say is like that generation of MMA finally being able to achieve their dreams and their goals. And she went out there and did it. Was not the most exciting fight, but she got it done against a worthy opponent who was on a good streak and had some good finishes in her own right. But I don't know. I think the biggest takeaway is just I'm happy for Raquel Pennington, but it wasn't a pretty fight. It wasn't a fun fight to watch, and it does kind of leave you going, man. This bantamweight division is not maybe what it once was.
No, I hear you on this, and I remember being on the post show thinking, man, I'm gonna roast them. And then I said, when I got upstairs, I said, nah, it's not fair. It's
No,
not
it's
fair.
not.
It's not fair to Raquel Pennington to take away from her moment. And she looked, I mean, she did a fantastic job of winning that fight.
Yeah, she did what she
And
did.
and I didn't think, and I actually picked Mayra to win.
I did as well.
Yeah. And Raquel went out there and said she did everything she said she'd do. She said, this is my time. I'm gonna go out there and win this fight. And she's a female that had a record going in of 15-9.
Mm-hmm.
But in all those 9 fights, she was never really blown out the water. She was always close and game in all those fights. So she learned something about that, about how to nudge a fight, how to get the nod on those close rounds. And in this fight, she did that.
Yeah. And I think, like you say, always very game in every fight, other than the Amanda fight, was the only time that she really, and that's a tough situation to come back from, to be in a championship fight and to have everyone see you be like, I can't do this, I'm done. And then everything that transpired from there, her coach is sort of like cajoling her into, finishing the fight, and it didn't go well for her. It was just kind of a hot mess. That's a hard thing to come back from, outside of, once the media is done talking about it and the people are done tweeting about it and laughing about it and all that type of stuff. And just, that's a hard thing to come back from, up here. So it was cool to see her climb her way back to the top and to have that belt wrapped around her waist. But it's not the days of Amanda Nunes anymore. That's for sure.
No, it's not. It's not. And, Juliana Pena will be a very refreshing mix into this, to add some spark into the division. And also, too, Jermaine Duranami's coming back.
Is she?
Yes, she's fighting Norma Dumont coming up. So,
where has she been?
I have no idea where she's been, but this division can be fun. It can be fun. Because I really do think that there are some fun fights there. I do think, especially after what Carol Hosa and Irene Aldana gave us a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
There is some fun stuff going on here. And Norma Dumont is a great fighter. It's just, I think sometimes they feel so much pressure on them that they don't perform as well as I think they could. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they get that pressure off of them, because Norma Dumont to me is a great fighter, but she goes out there and she's a little stale sometimes. So I think that as soon as they get that pressure off them and just go, you know what, my job is to fight, and I can, even if I lose, I can fight again. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go out there and put my heart and soul into the octagon. I think we're gonna see some really fun fights in the bantamweight division.
And there's there's a lot of parity, and sometimes people see that as a negative, but to me, it keeps things exciting, and it means that at any moment, anyone in the top 10 can turn a corner, see things a new way, and kind of become the next on the way to the top. We've got Misha, of course, back in the mix, looking good. And that Amanda Nunes interview on the post show, what was that about? Because I felt very heavily that she was like, you never know. And I did not expect that from her. But I watched it and you're like, no, Amanda's done. But Dean, when I watched that interview, she was like, you never know.
Well, no, here's what I think. I think there's only going to be, I think there's a couple of people that will draw her out of retirement. Amanda is a person she's strong on principle. And I think as long as Raquel has the belt, she'll sit out.
Yeah.
I think if Juliana Pena has the belt, she's coming back. I think if Mayra had won, she'd have been like, nah, I'm not letting y'all have this belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on principle alone. I think that she would have did that. But if Rocky has the belt, I don't think Amanda's coming back. She won't fight Rocky for the belt. And she won't fight for nothing other than her principles, and that's making sure that the belt is in the right hands,
Yeah.
or at least not in the wrong hands.
Well, even listen, even the idea, even the possibility of Amanda Nunes popping back in is pretty cool to think about. And what a huge, insane moment that would be. Maybe we'll see that on 300. I'm
Well,
just going to keep putting things into the universe.
well, she drove up there with Nina and her two babies. And I
Yeah.
said this on live TV. I said she drove up with two childs.
She drove
Yes.
from Florida
Yes.
to Toronto
To Toronto.
with two children in the car.
Yeah, but I said on live TV, two childs.
We knew what you meant.
You know what I meant. I
We
said,
knew
you know
what
what
you
I
meant.
meant. She drove up there. It took them 4 days. They did, I think she said they did like 4 6-hour days of driving.
That is my definition of hell. I
Yeah,
don't
like
want any part of that.
a 2-year-old
Yeah.
and a 8
And a
week old.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Driving to Toronto to
wow.
watch a fight.
That might be more impressive than any other thing in her career. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously
No,
not.
no, it's up there. It's up there. But you
It's up there.
but
That's
I say
crazy.
but I mean, but so Nina, I saw Nina at the hotel and she told me this, and I said, and I told Nina Ansaroff, her partner, and I said, first off, I want to thank you for not bringing them children on a plane.
Dean.
Kids shouldn't fly until they're at least 12.
Dean, don't be a jerk. Come on.
Or they should have a special compartment for kids by the luggage.
Just wear headphones. Chill out.
I do, I have to, but still.
Yeah, that's a fun thought. So let's just keep putting that thought out into the universe because maybe it will come true if we keep thinking about it. Before I let you go, have to touch on Jillian Robertson because she looked absolutely sensational. She's tied for the second most finishes in the history of UFC women's MMA, which is an insane stat. She's right behind Amanda Nunes, and this is a woman who, in my opinion, does not get enough flowers, does not get enough credit. She is so exciting to watch, and she's the first person that you would want to point to that's currently on the roster when guys are like, oh, women don't finish fights. Go watch Jillian Roberts fight.
Well, we train that way.
Yeah.
That is the way we train. We have, again, like a lot of the things that we do comes down to our mentality and our philosophies. And one of our philosophies is it's really like a lot of people spend time doing conditioning and all that stuff. She does zero. We do zero conditioning, zero weight training. And the reason why is we just go, you know what? If you're struggling to get a move in, it's not the right move. We need a better move. And we are always looking for the finish. Always. Like that is the goal. We're going to finish. So that's our philosophy, really. Now she comes, and the reason why we have this philosophy, she doesn't come from an athletic background. She's never played a sport before. She's never done anything physical before. She was a shy little girl that somehow wanted to wanted to kickbox, and somehow this got to where she is now. Like she's never done it. I mean, she's not an athlete. So, trying to get her to move faster and do things is kind of a waste. Like it's just not happening. So, but she's a killer. Like she's a killer. Like she goes for blood. She goes for blood. She works harder than anybody I know. She's always training. She's very disciplined and dedicated. And that was why I put so much into her camp this time, because for the Tabitha Ricci fight, she felt like she wasn't all that confident, and that, we didn't, and she called me out. She was like, I felt like you didn't give me a lot of attention. And I said, all right, well, we're going to make sure you get all the attention this time. And I drove to Miami 3 or 4 days every week. And it's an hour and a half, 2 hours each way. And I drove every day at 8 in the morning. Sometimes I leave at 5 in the morning to get there to train her, to make sure that she had the confidence, because I don't want nothing to go wrong. And if something goes wrong, then that's the way it's supposed to be. But I don't want to leave that to chance.
I think that says a lot about her knowing what she needs, but it says even more about you as a coach. And that's really cool to hear that you were willing and able to do that for her, because I guarantee that as great as it is to get a check at the end of the day, you didn't get paid by the hour. And if you did, it probably wouldn't be, commensurate with the amount of thought and effort that you were putting into that. So it says a lot about your willingness to sacrifice for the people who, who mean a lot to you.
Well, here's the thing: is I don't even give them a bill. I just say, man, listen, take care of your people, take care of the spar partners.
Yeah.
There's something left, break me off. But I don't even care really. Like what
Yeah.
I care about is people having success in something that they love. And that's really what I care about. Like that's all I care about is people having success and loving what they do. And she went out and she put the work in. She's there before me every day. Her boyfriend brings me coffee every morning that I show up. So like it's good times and I'm okay with that. And there's a lot more that she can do still. I think that she's got still a lot of room to grow and we're going to keep going with this until it's over.
This is the last point I'll leave you on. I forgot how young she is
Mm-hmm.
because she's been doing it so long
Yeah.
at such a high level. In my mind, I was like, oh, Jillian Robertson. If you would have made me guess, I would have said like maybe 35. And she's what, 28, 29?
28, I think.
28. I mean,
Yeah.
she's got a solid 10 years left.
Well, I mean, that was the thing is
That's
she started,
exciting.
yeah, she started um at my academy when she was 16,
Yeah.
just still in high school. And and she got in the UFC really quick because there was
Yeah.
no females at 125 pounds. So she got on the tough house really quick and then that put her right into the UFC. So she's kind of learning on the job.
Yeah. Well,
So
the fact that she still has, possibly a whole 8 to 10 years left is very exciting for me as a fan. And I love watching her fight. And I love hearing, the stories of how you guys put that work in and then bring it to fruition. But Dean, I feel like I've taken up a whole lot of your time.
nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing but love for you.
We appreciate your time very, very much. If you will, please click the subscribe. It helps me out, helps Dean out, helps the channel out. And that is the goal for this year to really grow this channel. I got DC and Michael Bisping are constantly dropping my YouTube channel. I need to start dropping my YouTube channel more, don't I?
Yeah, you need to drop you. That's all DC does. Drop his YouTube channel.
So that's my goal for this year. I'm just going to get more flagrant with it, right? Okay, guys, please, dear God, please subscribe. Anyway, we appreciate you and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. And we'll see you there.